census records and death certificates and marriage records and things that have been indexed. And the family search software goes out, searches all of these and lines them up with the people already in the tree. Okay. Would you read that one?
Record hints get identified with this icon. The record hint provided by family tree usually apply to your ancestor. But they must be reviewed to make sure. In record hints, we find information about our ancestors and new people to add to a family tree.
Okay. They claim the accuracy of the record hints is in the 90th percentile of accuracy. So not all of them are correct. So if you find one that you're questionable about, you can leave it for somebody else. If you find one that you're sure is not right, you can mark it as not a match. And if you're pretty sure it's right, you can add it to your person. Okay. To start off, we're going to log in to Family Search, and this is just going to look like a hands-on going in and finding some record hints and attaching them to the people in the tree. So you sign in the same way you normally do. Go in and enter your username and password and click sign in. Okay. You come to your home page. This is the home page, and your home page might look a little different because you can rearrange the different boxes on the home page, but this is the home page. If you look in the upper left corner, it says Family Tree. If you click on that with your mouse, a little drop down comes down, and we're going to go into the tree. So if you go into the tree, it opens a tree starting with you. That's me and my wife in the middle. On the left, it'll show my children and grandchildren, or if it's you, your children and grandchildren, if you've entered any living people. Then your parents and your grandparents over here. Okay. Now, this is the landscape view in Family Search. We're going to expand this tree by clicking on one of these. You can expand one line at a time. Okay, so I can't expand all four of those sets of grandparents, but I can expand one of them. So I'm going to expand the hatch line. Okay, now there's Sidney Marcus Beckstead is my great-grandfather. I'm going to click on him and open a tree starting with him as the focus person. By clicking on him, little sidebar pulls out, and where it says tree, I'm going to click on tree. That starts a new tree with him as the focus person, his children to the left, his parents and grandparents to the right. Now I'm going to expand this tree out. The reason I'm doing this is I want to get out away to where there's not been as much work done, because there's no record hints here because they've all been done. Okay, so click on that and expand back. I'm now back to John Rollins. Now he was born in 1682. I'm going to click on him and have him be the focus person, a tree. Now we're doing this because we're going to look down at his descendants instead of up at his ancestors. There's a couple of ways of doing that in Family Search. You can go to where it's set up here where the little hand is. You click on that, you go to the descendants view, and this is the Family Search descendant view. And it's kind of an older view that's still around, and some people still like it. I don't use it, but if you look along these lines over to the right, there's the record hints. They're identified by that little blue circle. If you click on those, you can see the hint for that person in the tree. Okay. We're going to go back here, and I'm going to show you going down in the landscape view. I'm going to go down one line at a time, so I can go down this line for Stephen Rollins Jr. I'm going to click on it and go down again. We're going to just keep going down till we fill the screen. Okay. Now let's zoom in on this so you can see it a little better from back there. Okay. Now see the record hints in this tree? Okay. Now, how do you how do you look at these record hints? You just click on the little blue icon. So we're going to click on this little icon right here. Click on it, and it pops up and shows you the record hint. This is a 1965 census for Washington Pike. Okay, we're going to click on that. Just click on it. This summary pops up, and down. I look at the summary sometimes, but I usually skip the summary and go right to the review and attach page, because in there you can see everything side by side. So review and attach, click on that. And you're not going to hurt anything by going to these pages. You can look at them without adding or goofing up anything. So don't be afraid to click on these buttons. Okay, this is the review and attach form. This is the most important form in helping you to determine whether a record hint belongs to your person or your family or not. On the left side is the vital record side of the review and attach page. Okay, on this side, all the relationships that are shown over here are based on the index. They're not based on who's over there on the right side. They're based on the index. And sometimes indexes don't index any relationships. There's no relationships shown in this particular index. On the right side is the family tree side. This is your family. There's your husband and wife and their children right below. And there are links. If you look up here, see that link that says open there. If you click on that, you can see his parents. If you click on this, you can see his siblings. Okay, on this side, the relationships are based on family tree. So if it says that this is a wife, right here, it says that's a wife, that's the wife of this person, these are the daughters, and so forth. And there's another wife, a second wife down here. Okay.
Gary,
Uh-huh.
could you back up just one slide for me?
Mm-hmm.
Should we cut it faster? Thank you.
Okay. And this whole slideshow will be online. You'll be able to go to it and go to every page and thumb through them one at a time at your own speed if you'd like to. Okay. So we talked about this side. Okay. Now, on this side of the page, there's no relationships. But if you look down there at the bottom, other people in the record, you can see Ellen right here. And that's the wife. See her? And you can see Mina right here, and there's Mina right here, the daughter. Okay. We can line these people up in this page by grabbing them. See the little double arrows there? That means you can move those. If you put your mouse on that person, hold down on the mouse with your left mouse button and keep the mouse held down, you can drag that up to here. And when you get it to where you want it, then you let off the left mouse button and it'll drop it right there. Okay. Anybody missed that? We'll do it again with Mina. Okay. You hold the mouse button down, keep it down, roll the mouse up to where it's right up, lined up with the right person, and then let off the mouse and it'll line it up. Okay. Now, there's lots of links all throughout this page, and you can look at these links and open, close, see more information, more details, and we'll show you some of that. Right here is view the image. We're going to open the image, the actual original document that this index came from. We're going to click on that. There's the original image, and we can use these controls over here to the right to zoom in. So I zoomed in on this and I found my family right here. There's the family, the husband, the wife, and a 2-year-old child. Okay. Now notice here, there's an older child, Lydia, but she died in 1861, and this is an 1865 census. That's why she's not in that census. Okay. Now, let's review and attach this source to these people. Okay. You click the attach button here, and this is not going to attach yet. It's going to give you an attached screen where you can see more details. So if you click on this, it opens it up to where you can see more information. If you look oops. This is there's additional information here on this side that you can add to the person's page in addition to the source itself. So if I click add here, I can add this residence for Mina. And then I need to scroll down in order to see the attach button. Now I can click here and this will attach that source to Mina. Okay, now that source is now attached to Mina. If you go to her person page and click on sources, this 1865 source will be in that source list. Okay, your question there?
So if this census had already been attached to this person,
No,
no,
this is one that the family search software has found that is not attached.
and that's my question. It's
Right.
not going to give you hints on sources that are already attached.
No, it's not going to show you any sources that are already attached unless they're attached to somebody that might be a duplicate person. They'll show them to you and show you who they're already attached to. And then you can look at both people and see if the people need to be combined or if somebody's attached it to the wrong person. But you'll be able to see that right in this page. If it's already attached to somebody, it'll be blue on the left side or green on the left side. Okay. Now let's attach it to Ellen. Just click the attach button. We can add the marriage. We can add the residence, and you decide which of these things you want to add. Sometimes I don't always add the marital status, or I don't always add the race because I know I've already added it once or twice before. And sometimes you get a whole bunch of lists or a whole bunch of duplicates by adding some of this left side stuff. And sometimes there's really no need to add that somebody's single when they're 2 years old. But it'll be there as an option to add it. I'm going to scroll down, click on attach. Now we're going to do the same thing for the father. Click. We're going to add the marriage, add the residence, scroll down so we can see the attach and attach that record. Okay. Now this 1865 census has now been added to all three of the people that are mentioned in that census. Okay, so that's the review and attach screen. Now let's look back to this landscape pedigree. Let's just kind of take a peek at some of what other possible sources are in some of these. Here's one that's got a vital record source. That could be a birth or a death. Here's some that have, there's a vital record. There's an 1840 census. There's a death record. And see, these are all records that Family Search has found for you and said they belong to your person according to the software. And you need to review them and decide if they really do. Now, when you open these, like if you open that 1840 census, and there's children in the census that are not yet in the chart, you can just add them right there from that screen, and we'll show you how to do that in just a minute on some new ones. Okay. So here's some more. All of these records, all of these blue dots throughout the chart here can all be reviewed and attached to your people. And you review them. The more sources you get to a person, the more accurate the information is and the proof that the information, the dates and everything are correct. The more hints that you add, because each one of those is a vital record. It's a census, or it's a death certificate or a birth certificate or a marriage certificate. Okay. And it proves not just the dates, it proves the relationships and that you've got the children, the correct parents, all of that stuff. Okay. Now this is a person page in Family Tree. Everybody should be familiar with this. If you look right here in the help box, that's where the record hints are if you're looking at a person page. This person has one record hint that Family Search has found that's not attached. If you look right here where it says sources, are you seeing this mouse? Yeah. Where it says sources, this person already has 11 vital record sources attached, but here's another one right here. And this is a delayed birth record. Okay. And if you want to see that, you just click on it. We'll click on that. Let's review it. click on it and go to the review and attach page. You can look at the information here if you want to first, but I go right here because I can see everything better here. But if you notice, here is and the kind of things that you want to look for to see if if you think it really matches. The computer's already looked at this, but if the names of the husband and wife are the same, and a lot of the dates or the places are similar, look at that. If they're similar to where they were living, it's a really, really strong indication that that's correct, because there's not very many. Eugene Gladys May is married to James Horridges in Iowa in 1883. Okay, so we're pretty sure this is a good match. Okay, so let's look at some of these places. Okay, in 1900, our family here in Family Search lived in Walnut, Appaloosa. Is that how you say that? Appaloosa, Iowa. And the child was born in Mystic, Appaloosa, Iowa. Okay. Let's look at the father. Same thing, Walnut, Mystic. Okay. See when they're in the same county, it's usually good chance they're really close. Okay. But let's actually look on a map. I did a Google search for the county and found right there. Let's see. There's Walnut City and Mystic. They're a couple of blocks apart, or a quarter mile apart. This looks like a town. This looks like a farming area out here. It looks like they probably had a farm out here, lived in Walnut, but when they had the baby, they went to the doctor's or the midwife's house or office here in Mystic to have the child. So that's really good indication when it's that kind of places are that close together that this actually is a child that belongs to these people. Okay, so let's add this person, this new child. You click on add right here. A pop-up comes over to the side. Family Search fills in all this information for you. There's sometimes they don't fill it in for you, and you have to fill it in yourself. But in this particular one, it filled everything in for you. All you have to do to create this new person is create new person. Click on it. It creates the person, and now you can attach this source to that person by clicking right here where it says attach. Okay, now we can attach the same source to these other people. We'll attach it to the father. Just click on attach, click here and click here. Okay, now let's open James's page. Family Search has created a page now for James. And that source we just did is right there. The one we just attached. Okay. Now, Family Search that fast, within just seconds, has already gone out, searched all over and found 3 more vital records for this new person we just barely created. Okay, not 3, 7. If you see the 7 up there, there's 7. It only shows 3 on the screen. Sometimes it shows 3, sometimes 4. After you open and use one, another one will pop up. Or you can click up here on show all, and you can see all 7 of them on one screen. But he has some. Let's click on this World War II draft registration. Okay, the little pop-up comes here. You click on it. A lot of you've probably seen lots of these. Have you ever found any new information in one of those? Quite often a spouse or a mother are on that. So let's go ahead and attach the information. And notice Fort Madison is Fort Madison. I don't need to attach that again a second time. Okay, now let's click attach. Okay, well, I just attached that. Now, if you look down here on this side, there's a person here that says there's a relative, Dorothy Horridge. Okay, and his name is James Horridge. Let's open the image. Click here. There it says that Dorothy Ann Horridge is his wife. Okay. If you go back let's drag this over. Does anybody not know how to do a split screen on Windows? You hold your button down, grab the tab, hold your left button down and drag it down, and then drag over to the right and hit right the center of the screen, right in the middle. Hit it with your mouse and then let go. And it will lock it on half the screen. And then on the left, it'll show you all the other tabs that are still open or other programs that are still open. Click the window you want on the left, and now you're seeing side by side. So we can see this Dorothy Horridge here, and there's Dorothy Horridge there. Okay, we know she's a wife, and look, there's no wife in family tree. So let's hold down our mouse button and drag her up to the place and drop her. Now we need to add her as a new person. So click on add. Now here's one where they didn't fill in all of the information. We know she's a female because she's a wife. It didn't say that in the record, so it's not automatically filled in for you. So click on that. We know she's deceased because people living in 1909 are all dead. They have to be at least 110 years old, and there's no way she's not at least 110 years old. So we'll click deceased. So we don't have to have a death date unless you can't add a new person unless they're 110 years old or older, or you have a death date, one of the two. So we're pretty sure she's over 110, so we can put deceased. Now, Horridge is her married name because her husband's last name is Horridge. So we want to remove that. We're going to have to try and find her maiden name another way, but we know her name's Dorothy Ann. You don't want to use a married name as the last name because in the temple work gets done under the wrong surname. It's not a real big problem, but it is a problem when you start looking for parents with the same last name as her married name. So it's best to remove the married name and look for a maiden name. Okay. So let's create the new person. Click here, and we'll attach this source to her. Now this vital record source over here is attached to both of those people. And you go to their person page and click on sources. You can pull this back up again. Okay, let's go back to Jim. Here's another source, find a grave index. That will probably give us a death and a burial information for James. We don't have any of that information right now. So if we click on that, we can go over here to the review and attach. There's his death date and there's his burial location. So let's add those. Just click and attach. Okay, now that find a grave index is attached to him, and we now have his death date and burial information. I like to always go to find a grave and look at it because a lot of people use find a grave as their family history place they keep all their family history records. They'll go to find a grave and they'll find their ancestor, and they'll upload indexes. They'll upload marriage records. They'll upload the names of their spouses and children, and they'll connect them all together in Find a Grave. So if you go to Find a Grave, you might find some more people too. So let's click on that and go there. About, I would say 20–30% of the time when I go to Find a Grave, I find more people. Okay, so here's Find a Grave. Okay, here's some attached documents over here on the left. Let's click on this first one. This is showing a marriage record for a wife named Mildred Kramer. Now that's not the name of the wife we've already added. So this is probably a second marriage. And remember that name, Mildred Kramer. Okay, let's go back here and click on there's Mildred Horridge. So there's Mildred right there. She ended up on the gravestone instead of the first wife with her husband. But remember her, let's move this over to the left like we did before. Hold down the mouse button, take it over to the left, put this on the left side. Dorothy is the name of the first wife. Let's pull a copy, I want to pull another copy of this Find a Grave. I'm going to open that, go to Find a Grave. I'm going to pull this down, and I'm going to put it over on the right now. So now I've got this information here, and here's Mildred right there, the wife, Mildred Lois Brown. Notice her name is Brown. over here. We'll get to that in just a minute, instead of Kramer. Okay, let's look and see if she's here. Click on change spouse. Nope, she's not there. So that spouse, the second spouse is not there. So click none of the above. Let's open James's person page so we can add a spouse. We'll click that. Okay, and let's open the spouse, Mildred. If you look right up here, it says husband of Mildred Brown Kramer Porridge. She was married. Well, here it says the wife of Paul Kramer before she married James Horridge. Okay, so that's why in the marriage record it listed her as Mildred Kramer, but her maiden name's actually Brown. Okay, everybody understand that or can see that? Okay, now let's click on add a spouse. Go down here below James where it says add a spouse right here and click on that. This screen pops up and we're going to copy the information that's available over here in Find a Grave into these fields and then click next. Family search found Mildred Brown already in family tree, but she was not connected to her husband. So we didn't have to create a new person. We just used the person that's already there. Somebody else has already put her in, but didn't have her connected to her husband. So we just accept that match. Okay, let's open her page. She has a page that's already there open. So click on person. Okay, here is her page on the left. And for fun, see that picture that's over here? Let's put that in family tree. Does anybody know how to do that? If you click on that picture, if you click your mouse on that picture right there, right click, this little menu pops up and you can save the image to your desktop. So I saved the image to the desktop. Click on memories over here on the left and click on add a memory. You can drag and drop it right there and it'll add it to her memories and the picture will be in her memories. Okay, it's on the desktop. So let's close this. There it is right there on the desktop. All I got to do is push down, grab it with my mouse, hold the button down, the left button down, drag it over here and drop it. Okay, then this pops up so you can enter information. I entered her name and I hit continue. And then it wants to know if it's a private picture or a public picture. Click done. Okay, there's the picture. Now let's make it the avatar as well. You know what the avatar is? This little picture that shows up in all the pedigrees and stuff. We'll make this picture go there. So just click on this avatar and click on this. You adjust it so that the circle is where you want it and then hit save. Okay. Now, once it's done processing, the reason it doesn't show it instantly, it'll show it to you because you created it, but it won't show it to the public until a family search missionary looks at it and makes sure it's not pornography. Because there are people out there trying to put pornography on our websites. So they're not viewable until a family search missionary views the photo and says it's okay. All right. All right, there we go. This is what it looked like 2 days later. There's her avatar, and here's the picture in memories. Okay. Now we're going back to James. This is the first guy that we created, and we've added 2 wives already. We've got, we're going to, we created Jane, or anyway, we're going to reserve his ordinances. See where it says ordinances? See the green temple? That means his ordinances have not been done. If you click on that, click request. Now, if they're green, you're related to them. If you're not related to them, it won't let you reserve them anymore. It used to, but now you have to be related in order to reserve names for your temple list. If it's green, you're related. And it knows whether you're related or not already. So click request. And this is the pop-up screen that now says you're agreeing to the terms. It used to show the terms. Now it says you're agreeing to the terms without you having to have 3 different pages instead of 2. So hit request. Okay, his ordinances are now in my temple file, and the temple file is found right up here. Anybody that's not familiar with the temple file that's here. Okay. You can have up to 300 names in your temple file of names you have reserved, and you have about 2 years to get them done. If you don't get them done in 2 years, they'll drop off and go out there and where ordinance is ready can find them. Okay. So now let's click at his father. His father's ordinances are not done, so let's reserve those. Click on that, hit request. And now his father's ordinances are in my list. Okay, now let's go look at this 1940 census for James. Click on it. I like to, whenever I add a new person, I like to go in and add all the sources that apply to that person before I move on to somebody else. But I'm showing you a few of them. I'm not going to show you all, but I've added them all as I created this, as I went through this and found these new people. So let's review and attach this 1940 census. There's the census. Now look, the first wife we got, Dorothy, in 1940, she was still living with James, and there's her birth date. We didn't have it before. And without her birth date, we couldn't reserve her ordinances because you got to have at least a date and a place in order to do ordinances. Now we've got it. So if we click on attach here, it automatically will allow us to click here and add the birth, add the race, add the residence. I don't like to ever add 1935 same place because it doesn't mean anything. They can see this by clicking on the source anyway, so they can see all this information that you don't add. But I don't always add the marriage information. I don't always add a duplicate race. I mean, and if it would let you put it over there and type in this, I just don't like to add same place. Some people do. I've seen it in some of the records where people have added same place, but same place doesn't mean anything unless it's in the context of the record. Okay, click attach. Let's attach it to James. We'll attach the race and the residence and attach that to him. So now he's there. Now let's open Dorothy's page. This is the first wife we found. Go to her page and reserve her ordinances. Okay, let's request them and request. Now Dorothy's records are now in my temple file. Okay, and here's the sources. Here's the two sources that we added when we created Dorothy. We created her from the World War II draft registration, and then we confirmed it that her birth date by adding the 1940 census. Okay, if we click on our temple file now and sort this correctly, you can see that these are all the names that I just added right here to my temple list. Okay, any questions on so far? Okay. Okay, record hints. Family search partners have and they partner with other companies so that there's additional ways to find these ancestors and record hints. One of those partners is Pozilla, and there's a presentation that I've done twice here at the Family History Center on Pozilla. Here's a 1 or 2 slide preview of Pozilla. Pozilla is a charting program, and all the charting is done on family tree data. So there's an ancestor chart here and a descendant chart here. The thing that's nice about the descendant chart and the ancestor chart here is you can get a lot more people on the screen at once. You don't see their names without clicking the dot, but there's probably, I'm just guessing, 350 people on screen at once right there. On that family tree chart that we did, you got maybe 27, 30 people on screen at once. Here you've seen almost 350 people at once. And if you look, you can see the end of the line, see where the line ends. This is the person, the center is the person that you've selected. And then this first circle is their children, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren. So if you look down the line here, this child's all of these children here do not have children in family tree. So that's a good place. You can use this to know where to look for missing people, because you can see all these dead ends. Okay. So here's a chart right here. This chart allows you to turn on record hints. These are family tree record hints in orange. See on this chart how many orange record hints there are? You can see probably 300 or 400 record hints all in one chart. By clicking on one, the record hint for that person, here's the information of that person right there. You can go right to their family tree page, their person page, by clicking here. You can create a new chart starting with them and show their descendants or their ancestors. Or if you just click here, when the record hints or dots are turned on, there's the record hints right here. If you click on one of these record hints, it takes you right to the family tree review and attach page, the same one you go to from family tree. And you can review the hint right there, attach it, close that tab, come right back here and look at another one. Another thing this will allow you to do is it'll open 10 hints for you all at once in tabs. And then you can go out there and look at them one at a time and then open 10 more hints all at once. So there's lots of things, and this is a premium partner with Family Tree or Family Search. If you use this program here in the Family History Center, you can use it for free with all of these features. If you want to use it at home, you have to subscribe. They let you use it at home for free with three options. One is it'll show you the dead ends, people without children. It'll show you people that have died before 16 and people who that are not yet 110 years old. And those are important. Any comments, questions?
You'll access that Pazilla through the premium sites here, right?
Right. If you log into Pazilla, on a Family Search Center computer, all the premium features are free here in the center. Okay, so you can turn on all the hints, you can turn on the sources, you can get a colored dot for all, like 10 different things. And there's a presentation. I've done 2 different presentations here at the Family History Center, and they're in the previous classes. You can see a whole 1-hour presentation on how to use Pazilla on the Payson website, Payson Family Search website. Okay.
This should be a good site to go to help you plan.
Where to search, where to research. And you can research right there from the tree too, right there from those trees. You can even click on, if you look back here, it says search in Find My Past, search in Ancestry. It'll populate a search with all this information in it in ancestry.com and show you all the ancestry hits for that person.
Great planning to research that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a good place to research. You can, and you're doing the same record hints and you're reviewing them the same right there in Family Tree. You're actually logging into Family Tree through Pazilla to use it. It's just 2 more charts with a lot of extra features. Okay. So, like I said, on the Payson Family Search website, there's training sessions. I don't know if the newest one's up yet. It wasn't last time I looked. Last month's wasn't up yet, but the one I did a year ago is up. Okay. Coming soon. On April 8th at 10:30, I'm teaching a class on the Family Search AI Research Assistant. This is in an experimental program that I'm testing, and the Family Search has created an artificial intelligence bot, I guess you could call it, that will go out and find all the record hints that have new people in them, and it'll present them to you on your homepage. And here's a few previews from the presentation. I already got this presentation prepared, and I've already found over 100 new people in the last 2 weeks using this. Here is this little box right here. When you're set up if you want to set up yourself to be an experimenter or a tester, you can go in and go to Family Search Labs and you can set up yourself to be a tester for this and you can use it. But if you click on one of these people, see this says a possible spouse for this person. This person's in your chart, and here and the AI assistant has found a spouse here. They found a child here, a child there, a spouse here, and a spouse there for each of these people. A new one that aren't in the chart. And everyone I've tried so far has been, I've only dismissed maybe 3 hints that weren't right. And I've probably looked at 100. And every one of them, there's brand new people there. I mean, I found a couple where it showed you a spouse and it was just a little bit different spelling for the spouse that was already there. So I knew it was the same spouse. So I attached the hint, but I didn't create a new person but most of the time, these are pretty accurate.
So Gary, on April 8th, if we just go to the.
If you come to this class on April 8th, you'll see a full hour presentation on this, and it'll show you how to sign up as a presenter, as a tester if you want to test. It's not widely released yet, but it's in Family Search Labs is being tested. Okay. Okay. Here is when you click on from your home page, when you click on this, what it does is it goes right to that person's home page. And on the right side is the AI assistant. And here is the record hint that it found that has a new person in it. You click on that, comes to this page right here. There is the person, and there's a new daughter that's not in the tree, and there's the husband, the spouse that's not in the tree. This one happened to have 2 new people. You click on attach to tree and it takes you right here to the family tree, and there's the new spouse, there's the new daughter, and you can click add and add them add them up right there. Okay.
Amazing.
And that's the end of that preview, but the AI assistant also from the home page, you can turn on a side chart and you can carry on a conversation with the AI assistant. You can say, can you find me a spouse for this person? And it'll look all over the web and a lot of other websites and all the historical hints to see if it can find a wife for you. If it can't, it'll tell you what it couldn't find. If it found one, it'll give you the link and you can click on it and there's the spouse. Or you can carry on a conversation and say, well, where else might I look? If you can't find it, where might I look? And it'll tell you, give you some indications of where you might try to find that spouse. Okay. Carry on a conversation with you, just like Chat GPT. Have you ever used that? Okay. This is a family search bot. Okay. And it's working right now and available for testing right now. And I'm sure that as good as it is, it's going to be released to everybody pretty soon out as part of Family Search. Okay. Now here's another thing that's coming to Family Search Labs. Has anybody heard of this? User-owned tree feature. Family tree is a public tree. Somebody else can go in and change something you just fixed, right? Okay. You can upload your GEDCOM to the pedigree resource file, but it just sits out there, right? You can't do anything with it. But now with this, you're going to be able to upload your tree. It's got all your fixes and everything in it. And your tree will be there just for you. And you'll have all the features of Family Tree to work on your tree and nobody else can touch it. You can have your own personal tree. And that's in testing right now. And when it comes out, you can have your own personal tree with all the features of Family Tree.
How does that integrate with ordinances?
I don't know how it'll integrate with ordinances. It'll probably show them. It'll probably take you to that person over in the public tree.
Public tree to do the ordinance stuff.
Right, you may have to, yeah. But you can have your own personal tree and all your own changes and and the sources You can attach all the sources to your own tree and everything. And you can do searches of the sources and add them to your tree. It'll be just like your own very own personal family tree for your own ancestry. And you can share with your own family. You can authorize other family members to work on that tree. Huh?
Teaching classes. on-
No, it's not that far along. It's just been announced. It was announced at Rootstick. And you can, if you click on try it, all you get is a screen that says, this comes up like this. And what you get is a screen that says, sign up to be a tester. And then when they're ready, they'll let you be a tester. Okay. But it allows you to upload your own personal tree and use all the editing features to do it yourself. Okay. Okay. That's the end of the presentation, except that I added some more slides in case we had time, and we got 10 minutes. So I'll show you the new ones. Okay. Okay. What this is just another example of attaching some record hints. And this particular record hint had some new people in it. So this is, I'm just going to step through this real fast. This person had a 1911 census. Click on it and go to review and attach. Okay, look, there's a spouse and 2 children, and it's a 1911 census. Okay. And part of the reason I wanted to show you this is some of these extra buttons in review and attach, so you can see how they work. Here's details. If I click on that, here's the details. The right side, of course, is family search. Here's the details in the census. And if you look, this is where Herbert's living according to family search in Birminghamshire, England, Newport, Paget. This record says that as of 1911, this Herbert is living in the same county, but it says Bradwell. Do we know where Bradwell is in comparison to Newport Pattage? When he was living here, he was a single person because he wasn't married yet. But this person is married to someone from Gloucestershire, and in the census, they're living right here. So let's copy this. See how I've highlighted it? You know how to do that? Hold your mouse down and drag it across. I've highlighted that. Here's a Google search. There is Newport right there. Let's copy this and go to a Google search. Here is Milton. This is the other town, and there's where he was living before. So when he got married, he was living here with his parents. When he got married, he just moved right over here. So good chance it's the same guy, right? Because he's moved a half a mile away after he got married, left his mom and dad and cleaved to his wife and got a new house. Okay. And let's look at where Mary's from, Gloucestershire. Do a Google search for that. You don't have to do this, but I'd like to do it. There's Gloucestershire right there. That's where she's from. Here's the town where he lived. It's I don't know if it tells, it's probably 20 miles away. Somehow they met. Okay, let's go ahead and attach this. Click it. We'll attach these and the residence and attach it to him. Do the same thing. Now we're going to create her. We're going to add her over here. All we have is her married name. So we're going to erase that. And why did I put Ludlow there? In this census, it says that Herbert's mother-in-law is living with him. And look, her name's Esther Ludlow. So that's probably her married name. So that's probably Mary's maiden name. So I'm going to put Ludlow right over here because there's Mary's mother living with them. Okay. Let's go ahead and attach this. And now let's create each of these 2 children. I'm going to do this kind of fast because we're just about out of time. He's a student. There's the residence, attach. We're going to create another son. Create the record. Add these things. Okay. Now, what are we going to do about this mother? See this where it says change person? This top person is the focus person. Okay, if we click on that change person, a drop down comes down and we can make Mary the focus person. When it did that, it automatically put Mary's mother up here at the top. Okay, now we can add her. And Ludlow is her married name. When I created this, I didn't remove it, but I went in later and removed that name. And I did
Would you
also
remove it
found the
now?
married name, huh?
Would you remove it right now?
I would right now, usually. I didn't when I did this, when I created it. I did go in later and I found